Friends, welcome to Abhivyakti India's Future Classroom. In today's episode of English Grammar, we are going to discuss about conjunctions, and in this part 1 we will discuss about the conjunctions no sooner than, hardly, scarcely, when. We will see how to use no sooner than and hardly or scarcely when and the rules regarding these two. Here is the first rule, that always use then with no sooner. Always use then with no sooner, and here you have to keep in mind that the spelling is THAN then and not THEN. So always use then but THAN with no sooner. Then second rule is that always use when with hardly or scarcely. Always use when with hardly or scarcely, but sometimes instead of when, then is used, maybe sometimes THAN or maybe sometimes THEN, and this is wrong. So whenever there will be a sentence with no sooner than and hardly or scarcely when, first check these two things. For no sooner, whether then is used or not, and check its spelling. And if hardly, scarcely is used, then check whether when is used with it or then is used with it. If then is there, then this is a mistake. See the example here. He was no sooner appointed to the post than there was opposition to it. He was no sooner appointed to the post than there was opposition to it. THAN. Second example, we had hardly reached the station when the train started. With hardly we have used when, WHEN. So the first rule is that whenever there is no sooner, always use THAN then, and whenever we are using hardly or scarcely, use WHEN when. Now the second rule is that when we begin a sentence with no sooner or hardly, scarcely, then the auxiliary verb comes before the subject, and this rule is called as rule of inversion. Remember, when we begin a sentence with no sooner or hardly, scarcely, the auxiliary verb comes before the subject, and this rule is called as rule of inversion. See the example here. Scarcely had he gone when a policeman knocked at the door. The sentence is beginning with scarcely, and in the sentence he is a subject and had is auxiliary verb, and this auxiliary verb is used before the sentence because the sentence is beginning this auxiliary verb is used before the subject because the sentence is beginning with scarcely. See another sentence. No sooner did he see the traffic policeman, he wore seat belt. Now the sentence is beginning with no sooner, and did is auxiliary verb and he is subject, and therefore did, that is the auxiliary verb, is used before the subject because the sentence is beginning with no sooner. Another one more example. Hardly had he left the institute when it began to rain heavily. Here the sentence is beginning with hardly, and he is subject here, and had is auxiliary verb, and therefore this had is used before the subject that is he, because the sentence is beginning with hardly. So friends, remember, whenever the sentence begins with no sooner or hardly or scarcely, the auxiliary verb is used before subject. Now here we will see about the whole sentence, how to make the complete sentence with no sooner than. No sooner plus did, sentence is beginning with no sooner, then plus did plus subject. Did is the auxiliary verb, so no sooner plus did plus subject plus V1 form of the verb. Now what you have to check? If the sentence is beginning with no sooner, check whether the auxiliary verb is before subject or not. Then if this is did, auxiliary verb is did, then check the form of the verb whether it is V1 or not, and then check whether it is THAN then or not plus clause. So the chances are there for 3 mistakes. Here check did and subject, it may interchange, so that will be a mistake. Check whether it is V1 form, V2 form or V3 form, and check THAN spelling. Now the second is no sooner. If had is used, then check whether it is before the subject or not, because the sentence is beginning with no sooner, and then check whether the verb form is V3 or not. So when had is used, check the verb form is V3 or not, and of course the spelling of then should be THAN. So the sentence formation will be like this: no sooner plus did plus subject plus V1 plus then plus clause, and no sooner had plus subject plus V3 form plus then plus clause. If we are using hardly or scarcely, then check whether it is had or not, and the subject form is V3 or not. So the formation of sentence will be like this: hardly, scarcely plus had plus subject. Since hardly and scarcely the subject is, sentence is beginning with this, the auxiliary verb is used before the subject. So hardly or scarcely plus had plus subject plus V3 form of the verb plus clause. Friends, here is the exercise for you. 4 sentences are given and you have to spot the mistake. First sentence is hardly had he left the institute, then it began to rain. Second is no sooner did he announce the tour, the children screamed with great joy. And third is scarcely had I finished washing the car, then the master came and asked me to clean the floor of the house. Then fourth sentence is no sooner did I finish my speech, I was subjected to a barrage of questions. Friends, spot the mistakes, whether there is a mistake in A part, B part, C part or D part, and if there is no error, then E part is correct. Friends, I hope you must have enjoyed this video. If yes, please like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. But for any other reason you disliked it, please share your views through comments so that we will try to improve, because there is always a room for improvement. Thank you very much. Friends, you might have enjoyed this video. Then go to thumbs up button and click. Then go to share tab and share with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and many more. And to get the updates right in your mailbox, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much.